The strange delivery. It was just another quiet evening for Adam. After a long day of work, all he wanted was a hot, cheesy pizza to enjoy in the comfort of his small apartment. His phone buzzed, and the pizza delivery app popped up on the screen. Adam smiled and clicked order. The wait always felt long, but it was worth it when the pizza finally arrived. About 30 minutes later, he heard the doorbell ring. Adam stood up and walked over, eager to see his meal. But when he opened the door, he froze. Standing in front of him wasn't the usual delivery guy. Instead, there was a woman. But not just any woman. She looked human at first glance, but something was different. Her skin had a faint shimmer to it, almost like it was covered in tiny scales. Her eyes weren't the usual brown or blue. They were a deep, glowing green, and they seemed to sparkle with a strange light. Her hair was a mix of silver and violet, flowing down her back in soft waves. She wore a simple outfit, a kind of tight suit that looked like it came from another world. Literally. Adam blinked and rubbed his eyes. Was he imagining things? Was this some sort of prank? But no, when he looked again, she was still standing there, holding his pizza box in her hands. Hi, Adam said, trying to act casual, even though his mind was racing. Are you the pizza delivery person? The woman smiled softly, but there was an awkwardness to it, as if she wasn't used to human interactions. Yes, she said, her voice soft but clear. I'm the delivery person. Your pizza. Adam didn't know what to say. This was strange. He was used to regular people, men or women in uniforms, smiling awkwardly, handing over the pizza. But this was something else entirely. He looked at the pizza box she was holding, then back at her. Thanks, Adam said, still not sure if he should take the pizza or just shut the door and walk away. But you're not from around here, are you? The woman's smile faded, and her eyes shifted, as if trying to find the right words. She looked at the ground, then back at him. No, she said quietly. I am not from here. Adam's heart skipped a beat. He couldn't help it. This wasn't some strange human who dressed weirdly. This was an alien. He could feel it in his gut, but he didn't know what to say next. Was she here to harm him? Was she dangerous? The silence stretched between them, awkward and thick. Finally, the woman spoke again, and her words took Adam by surprise. I am homeless, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Adam blinked. What? He asked, not sure if he had heard her right. The woman looked down, as if ashamed. I have no home, she repeated. My ship is broken. I don't have anywhere to go. Adam's confusion deepened. An alien, who delivered pizzas, was homeless. How was that even possible? Did she even have any way to survive on Earth? Or was she stranded here, completely alone? He glanced at the pizza in her hands. Wait, he said, suddenly feeling the awkwardness of the situation. So, you're telling me that you're, an alien, and you don't have a home. The woman nodded slowly, as if the words were hard for her to say. Yes, she replied, still looking down. I don't know anyone here. I came to Earth for help, but it's complicated. Adam's mind raced. There were so many questions. What kind of help did she need? What did she mean by it's complicated? He had heard about UFOs, alien sightings, and conspiracy theories, but he never imagined he would meet one face to face, let alone someone who claimed to be homeless. His first instinct was to just close the door. He didn't know how to deal with this. Maybe he was being scammed, but there was something in her eyes, a mix of vulnerability and sadness, that made him hesitate. She didn't seem like she was lying. She seemed lost. He took a deep breath and looked at the pizza she was holding. Well, he said, feeling a bit overwhelmed, I guess you can come in. It's not like I have a ton of space, but you're welcome to stay for a bit if you want. The woman looked up at him, her glowing green eyes widening slightly in surprise. For a moment, she didn't say anything. Then she gave a small, shy smile. "Thank you," she said softly, her voice barely a whisper. Adam stepped aside, still unsure of what he had just agreed to. He didn't know if he had just invited trouble into his home, or if he had just done something good. But for some reason, he couldn't turn her away. As the woman stepped inside, Adam couldn't help but feel a chill run down his spine. There was something about her that was both comforting and unsettling. Was he really ready for whatever this strange encounter would bring? A request for help. Adam stood there, staring at the alien woman. For a moment, the world seemed to freeze around him. The only thing he could focus on was the strange delivery person standing at his door, holding his pizza like it was the most normal thing in the world. He quickly snapped out of his daze and stepped aside to let her in. Thanks for the pizza," Adam mumbled, still trying to process what was happening. "Do you, want to come in for a minute? I guess we can talk." The alien didn't hesitate. She stepped past him and entered the apartment, her eyes quickly scanning the room. She seemed more interested in the surroundings than the pizza. Adam closed the door behind her and offered her a seat, still unsure of what to make of the situation. She looked at the pizza on the table for a moment before sitting down. Adam noticed how carefully she avoided touching anything. Her movements were graceful, yet unnatural, like someone trying to mimic human behavior, but falling short in subtle ways. "I've never seen anyone like you before," Adam said, trying to make the conversation less awkward. He sat down across from her, his curiosity growing stronger. "Where are you from?" The alien's eyes flickered, and for a brief moment, Adam thought he saw a flash of sadness in her glowing eyes. "I am from a place far beyond your stars," she said, her voice soft but distant. "A planet you wouldn't even recognize. But it's gone now." Adam leaned forward. He wasn't sure what to expect, but her tone made it clear this wasn't some kind of joke. There was real pain behind her words. "You see," she continued, "I came here searching for safety. My homeworld was destroyed in a war. I'm the last of my kind, or at least I think I am." She paused, looking down at her hands. "I've been hiding, drifting from place to place, trying to survive." Adam's heart sank. The alien had seemed so confident when she arrived, so calm. But now, with her eyes downcast and her voice barely above a whisper, he could see how much she was struggling. "Why Earth?" Adam asked, his voice softer now. "Why come here?" She hesitated, and then her eyes met his. There was a flicker of something, regret, maybe fear, before she answered. "I didn't choose Earth. I just ended up here. My ship was damaged, and I had no choice but to land. I thought I could repair it, but the damage is worse than I thought. I don't have the resources to fix it, and I don't have anywhere to go." Adam stared at her, his mind spinning. This wasn't a story he could easily dismiss. She wasn't asking for money or sympathy. She was asking for help. "Wait," Adam said slowly, trying to make sense of it all. "You're telling me you're stranded here. You have no way to get back home." The alien nodded, her expression somber. "Yes, and there's no one left to help me. I'm alone. And I'm running out of time. My ship's power is almost gone. I need someone to help me fix it, or I'll be stuck here forever." Adam felt a knot form in his stomach. He wasn't sure what was worse, the fact that this alien was stranded on Earth, or the fact that he was the only person she seemed to trust enough to ask for help. He didn't know how to fix a spaceship, let alone one that likely came from another galaxy. He could barely fix his car when it broke down. I don't know what to say," Adam stammered. "I'm just a regular guy. How could I possibly help you with something like that?" The alien gave a small, almost sad smile. "I understand. I don't expect you to have the answers, but I don't have anyone else to turn to. Please," she added, her voice quiet but earnest, "I just need a safe place to stay for a while. A place where I can think, where I can figure things out." Adam felt a wave of sympathy for her. He could see the fear in her eyes. She wasn't asking for much, just a roof over her head, a little time to figure out what to do next. But even with that simple request, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was the start of something much bigger than he had ever imagined. "All right," he said, after a long pause. "You can stay here for a bit, but I don't know how much help I can be with fixing a spaceship." The alien's face lit up with a small, relieved smile. "Thank you. You don't know how much this means to me." Adam couldn't help but feel a little uneasy. Something about this entire situation felt wrong, like there was more to her story than she was letting on. But he pushed the thought aside. For now, she seemed genuine. She needed help, and he was all she had. And besides, he couldn't just turn his back on someone who was truly in need. As Adam led her to the spare bedroom, the question weighed heavily on his mind. What else was she hiding? An unexpected offer. Adam felt the weight of her words settle in the room. His mind raced, trying to understand what she meant by the last of my kind. He didn't know how to respond. His first instinct was to offer sympathy, but something about her demeanor kept him from fully trusting her. For a moment, there was an uncomfortable silence. The alien, who hadn't given him a name yet, seemed to be lost in her thoughts. Her glowing eyes flickered to the window, then back to him, as if debating whether or not to say more. Adam watched her closely. There was something off about her. She seemed so fragile, yet there was a hidden strength in her posture, as if she were ready to take on anything the universe could throw at her. "I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable," she said finally, breaking the silence. "But I'm out of options. I've been trying to find a way back to my people, but my ship is broken. I can't get it to work. And the few contacts I had here have either vanished or turned away from me." Adam swallowed, his mind still spinning. He wanted to help, he really did, but this whole situation was beyond strange. An alien claiming to be homeless, standing in his apartment. It was more than a little overwhelming. He glanced at the pizza box, then back at her, unsure of what to say next. "What do you expect me to do?" he asked, his voice hesitant. "I mean, I don't know anything about spaceships or fixing alien technology. I'm just a regular guy." The alien looked at him, her eyes narrowing slightly as if considering his words. Then, with surprising calm, she spoke. "I know you think I'm just a stranger," she said quietly, "but I offer you something that no human has ever had the chance to receive before. My people possess knowledge, technologies, sciences, and understandings of the universe that would take humanity centuries to even begin to comprehend. I could teach you, help you understand things that are far beyond your current reach." Adam blinked, not sure he heard her correctly. "Wait, you're saying you want to teach me stuff like alien technology?" The alien nodded slowly, her expression serious. "Yes, I can share my knowledge with you. I've seen things, known things, that would make your head spin. Imagine what you could do with that knowledge. Imagine the wealth, the power. You could change the world." Adam leaned back in his chair, trying to process what she was saying. Wealth and power? Was she serious? A part of him was skeptical. This all seemed too good to be true. But another part of him, a curious and adventurous part, couldn't help but wonder, could this be real? He eyed her cautiously. "And in exchange, you want me to what? Help you fix your ship?" The alien didn't hesitate. "Yes. I need your help. I've been trying for months to fix the ship on my own, but there are parts of it that are difficult for me to repair. The technology is complex, and some of it doesn't even function in the way I'm used to. But with your help, we can make it work." Adam felt a wave of uncertainty wash over him. Was she asking for help because she couldn't do it herself, or was there something more to her offer? He had no way of knowing if she was being truthful, but he was too curious to turn her away. He leaned forward again, his voice quiet. "Why me, though?" he asked. "Why come to me? Why not someone else, someone who could actually help you more than I can?" The alien's eyes softened, and she looked at him with a mixture of sadness and gratitude. "Because I can't trust anyone else. I've been on Earth for a while now, and I've learned that most people would take advantage of me. They see me as a novelty, an alien curiosity, or a threat. I trust you because, I don't know, something about you feels different." Adam felt a strange warmth spread in his chest. He didn't know if it was sympathy or something else, but her words hit him in a way he hadn't expected. She was alone, lost, and looking for someone to believe in her. That feeling of trust, though fleeting, made him feel as though he could offer her something she truly needed. But there was still one big question lingering in his mind. What was she not telling him? Before he could voice his concerns, the alien spoke again, her voice almost pleading. "Adam, this is my last chance. I'm running out of time. If you help me, I will teach you things that will change everything for you. The world will never look the same again. But I need you to decide quickly. Time is not on my side." Adam sat there for a moment, caught in a whirlwind of thoughts. Was he really ready to get involved in something this big? Could he trust her offer, or was this all part of a larger plan he couldn't even begin to understand? But the glint in her eyes, those mysterious, glowing eyes, kept pulling him in. "I'll help you," Adam said finally, his voice steady despite the storm of doubts swirling in his mind. "But I need to know everything. No secrets. No more lies." The alien's face softened with a relieved smile. "Thank you, Adam. You won't regret this. I promise." But even as she spoke, Adam couldn't shake the feeling that he was stepping into something far bigger than he could ever imagine, and he had no idea how much his life, and the world, was about to change. A risky deal. The alien's eyes seemed to shimmer with something more than just the glow in her irises. There was a sharpness to her gaze now, as though she was weighing him, reading him like an open book. Adam felt an uneasy shiver run down his spine. For the first time, he realized that maybe he wasn't the one in control here. She wasn't just some lost traveler. She was someone with knowledge, power, and an offer that could change everything. She sat up straighter, folding her hands together on her lap. "I know you're wondering why I came to you," she said, her voice low and almost hypnotic. "You're not the first person I've met on this planet, but I sense something in you. Something I can use." Adam blinked, taken aback. "Use? What do you mean?" "I didn't come here just for a place to stay," she replied, her lips curling into a small smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "I came to offer you a chance, something no human has ever had before. A chance to see what lies beyond your little world. A chance to touch the stars." Adam's heart raced. Was this some kind of cosmic sales pitch? She was speaking like someone who had all the answers, all the secrets, like she could give him the keys to a universe he never even dreamed existed. It was thrilling, but also terrifying. "I don't know," Adam said cautiously, unsure if he was about to make the biggest mistake of his life. "This sounds too good to be true." She leaned forward slightly, her voice dropping to a whisper. "It is true. I can show you how to unlock the power of the universe. All you have to do is help me." "Help you," Adam repeated. "How?" The alien's eyes glowed brighter as she spoke. "I have technology that you cannot even imagine. Technologies that could make you a king on Earth. Weapons, knowledge, and resources beyond anything your species has ever seen. In return, I only ask for a safe place to stay while I fix my ship and try to reach my people." Adam felt a flicker of doubt. This wasn't just about helping her anymore. She wasn't asking for food or a couch to sleep on. She was offering him power, unimaginable power. In exchange for, what exactly? A place to stay. "What's the catch?" Adam asked, his voice rising with suspicion. "You're not offering all this just out of the goodness of your heart. There has to be more to it." The alien's smile faded, and for a moment, her glowing eyes became distant, like she was remembering something painful. "The catch," she said softly, "is that if you help me, you will be part of something much larger than you could ever understand. There are forces out there that will stop at nothing to control me. And they will stop at nothing to control you too, if you become involved in my world. This is not a simple favor, Adam. This is a dangerous game. Adam's mind raced. The pieces weren't fitting together. On the one hand, this alien seemed sincere. Her pain was real. On the other hand, everything she said was a risk. What would he be getting into if he agreed? Power, knowledge, or something much darker? I don't know if I can trust you, Adam said, standing up. He felt a mixture of anger and fear bubbling inside him. You're telling me I can have everything I've ever wanted, but you want me to gamble my life on it. The alien's eyes softened for the briefest moment. I'm not asking you to trust me blindly. I'm asking you to trust what you will become with the knowledge I can give you. For the first time since she had entered his apartment, Adam felt the weight of the decision settle in his chest. This wasn't just about helping someone in need. It was about stepping into a world he couldn't even begin to understand. The alien was offering him a taste of something bigger, something far beyond Earth. But what was the price? I don't even know your name, Adam said, his voice quiet. How can I trust someone I don't even know? The alien paused, her eyes flashing with an unreadable emotion. Then, with a slight bow of her head, she finally answered. My name is Lyra, she said. And if you help me, you will never look at your world the same again. Adam stood there, frozen in place. The offer was tempting, too tempting. But he couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't just an ordinary decision. Whatever path he chose, it would lead to something that would change his life forever. For better or worse. The room was silent except for the faint hum of the city outside. Adam looked at Lyra, her glowing eyes staring back at him, waiting. Finally, with a sigh, he spoke the words that would change everything. Okay, he said, swallowing hard. I'll help you. But I need to know more. I need to know exactly what you're asking of me. Lyra's lips curled into a small smile, and for the first time, Adam saw the glint of something that wasn't just the promise of power. It was the shadow of something dangerous. Good, she said softly. You're already starting to understand. And with that, Adam knew that whatever he had just agreed to, it was only the beginning of a journey that could either save or destroy him. The price of knowledge. Adam's mind was spinning, the words the alien had spoken echoing in his head. A chance to touch the stars, unlock the power of the universe. It all sounded like something out of a science fiction novel. But this wasn't fiction. This was happening right in front of him, and despite every warning bell going off in his head, part of him was intrigued. The alien was silent for a moment, watching him closely, as if she could sense the conflict brewing inside him. She wasn't in a hurry. She knew the weight of what she was offering, and she knew how to make it irresistible. I can teach you, she said, her voice smooth, almost coaxing. I can show you the technology of my people, how to travel the stars, how to manipulate the very fabric of space itself. You'll never have to worry about money, fame, or power again. It's all within your reach, Adam. Her use of his name caught him off guard. How did she know his name? He hadn't introduced himself yet. Before he could ask, she continued. I've studied your species for a long time, she said. I know how much you crave knowledge, how much you dream of something greater than the life you live now. Adam's mind raced. She wasn't wrong. He'd always felt that there was something more out there for him, something beyond his mundane, ordinary life. But this was beyond anything he could have imagined. It felt too big, too risky. He opened his mouth to speak, but the words caught in his throat. What was she really offering him? And what did she want in return? Why me? Adam finally asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Why not someone else? The alien's lips parted into a small, knowing smile. Because you're the right one, she said simply. You have the potential, but more importantly, you have the one thing I need. A key. A key that will open doors you can't even begin to understand. A key to what? Adam asked, his pulse quickening. The alien leaned forward, her eyes gleaming with intensity. "To my people's technology," she said. "To a ship I cannot fix on my own. And to a power hidden in the depths of the universe, something I have been searching for a long time." Adam's thoughts raced. It was clear now that this wasn't just about her being stranded on Earth. This was about something far bigger. The stakes weren't just his own life. They were cosmic. It was the kind of decision that could change everything, if he chose to accept. "So, what's the catch?" he asked, the question finally slipping out of his mouth. If he was going to get involved in something like this, he needed to know the risks. The alien didn't flinch. Instead, she looked at him with a calm, steady gaze. "The catch, Adam, is that nothing comes without a price. Knowledge always has its cost. To understand the stars, to unlock the power of the universe, you will have to give something in return. It may be something you are willing to give, or something you will regret." Adam felt a chill run through him. Her words felt like a warning. It was as if she were daring him to take the plunge, daring him to make a choice that could either bring him unimaginable power or destroy everything he knew. "You will never be the same after this," the alien said softly. "Are you ready for that? Can you live with the consequences of what I offer?" He swallowed hard, the weight of her words pressing down on him. Could he handle the unknown? Could he live with the consequences of accepting her offer? There was a long pause. Adam's heart was pounding. The allure of something greater than himself, the possibility of touching the stars, was almost overwhelming. But the doubt, the fear, was still there, whispering in the back of his mind. What if it was all a trap? What if the price was too high? The alien seemed to read his hesitation, and a faint smile tugged at the corner of her lips. "I see you're not ready to decide yet. But the offer stands, Adam. You don't have to say yes right now. But remember, time is not on your side. The universe does not wait." With those final words, she stood up, her movements smooth and graceful. "Think about it. I'll be here when you're ready." Adam watched as she walked toward the door, the soft hum of her alien technology buzzing beneath her suit. She stopped at the doorframe and glanced back at him, her eyes locking with his for a final, piercing moment. And then, without another word, she stepped out of the apartment, leaving him alone with his thoughts. The door clicked shut behind her, but Adam's mind was still reeling. What was the right choice? Could he trust her? And what did the universe have in store for him if he said yes? The hidden truth. Adam stood in the center of his small apartment, the room suddenly feeling much too large. The weight of the alien's words hung in the air, suffocating him. The glowing offer she had presented him with, the chance to touch the stars, to understand a universe that no human had ever touched, was so tempting. But he couldn't shake the nagging feeling in his gut that there was something he was missing. She had given him a choice, but it wasn't just a simple decision. It was a gamble, one that would change his life forever. And yet, the more Adam thought about it, the more his curiosity gnawed at him. What was this key she spoke of? What exactly was hidden in the depths of the universe that she was searching for? He walked to the window, staring out at the city lights, his mind tangled in a mess of uncertainty and excitement. He had always felt there was something more to the world than the daily grind, but now it felt like he was standing on the edge of something vast. But was he ready to take that step? Just as Adam was lost in thought, there was a sudden knock on the door. His heart skipped a beat. Was it her again? He didn't know if he was ready to face her just yet, but something inside him urged him to answer, to confront the unknown that had entered his life so suddenly. With a hesitant breath, he opened the door. But it wasn't Lyra standing there. A man, dressed in a black suit, stood on the other side. His face was stern, his eyes hidden behind dark glasses. He was tall, his posture rigid and intimidating. The aura around him seemed to radiate authority, as if he was not someone to be crossed. "Who are you?" Adam asked, his voice shaking with a mix of confusion and suspicion. The man didn't immediately answer. Instead, He glanced past Adam into the apartment, his eyes narrowing as if searching for something. After a long, tense moment, he finally spoke. "I'm here about the alien," the man said in a low, calm voice. "Lyra, you've been in contact with her, haven't you?" Adam's heart raced. How did this man know about Lyra? He barely knew anything about her. And now someone was coming to his door, demanding answers. I don't know what you mean," Adam stammered, his thoughts swirling in panic. "Who are you?" The man stepped forward, his gaze sharp. "I work for a special organization. We're aware of the alien's presence here. And we're aware that she's been manipulating people like you into helping her with her agenda." Adam's mind was reeling. What was this man talking about? Was Lyra using him? But she had seemed so genuine, so lost. He couldn't believe it. "What do you want with her?" Adam asked, trying to keep his voice steady, but his heart was racing with fear. The man's lips curled into a faint smile, but there was no warmth in it. "We don't want her. We want what she has. And we want to ensure she doesn't use her knowledge on people like you to manipulate Earth's technology for her own purposes. You see, Adam, this isn't just about helping her with her ship. It's about something far more dangerous." Adam felt his breath catch in his throat. What was he being dragged into? The man leaned in, lowering his voice to a dangerous whisper. "You're not the only one who's been targeted by her. She's been going around, searching for humans who are susceptible, people who are easy to control. And you're just another pawn in her game. If you help her, if you fall deeper into this, you will become a part of something far bigger. And I don't think you're prepared for that." Adam felt a chill run through him. Every word the man spoke sent a shock through his body. He didn't know whether to believe him or not. "I didn't ask for this," Adam said, his voice trembling. "I didn't ask for any of it." The man nodded, as if he understood. "You didn't, but now you're involved. And the decision you make will have consequences far beyond your own life." There was a long silence as Adam processed everything. The man's words clung to him like a shadow. Lyra had seemed so helpless, so broken. But if what this man was saying was true, if she was using him, manipulating him, then Adam had made a terrible mistake. "Why should I trust you?" Adam finally asked, his voice gaining strength. "How do I know you're not just another part of this game?" The man didn't flinch. "You don't, but you need to make a choice, Adam. A choice that could either save you or condemn you. That alien is dangerous. She's not who she claims to be. And if you don't act quickly, you'll be too deep into her world to escape." Adam stood frozen at the door, unsure of what to do. His mind was in turmoil, trying to make sense of everything. The alien who had once seemed so lost, so vulnerable, was now a potential threat. But how could he turn his back on her after everything? Had she really been manipulating him? Or was there more to the story? "I don't know what to believe," Adam said, his voice breaking. The man gave a small, almost sympathetic nod. "You don't have to decide now. But soon, you will have to choose. If you want to help her, it won't be just your life at risk. It will be the entire planet's." Adam's head spun. Was this really happening? He had to make a decision, and fast. But with each passing second, the truth became harder to find. What was Lyra's real story? And what had he just walked into? The man's voice cut through his thoughts once more. "Remember, Adam, time is running out." With that, the man turned and walked away, disappearing into the night. Adam stood in the doorway, his mind racing. His entire world had just been turned upside down, and the truth seemed more elusive than ever. The final choice. Adam's heart pounded in his chest as he stood face to face with the man in the black suit. He wasn't sure who this person was, but one thing was clear. This was not a random visitor. There was an air of danger around him, something cold and calculating. The kind of person who wouldn't knock unless he was sure of what he wanted. "I'm looking for her," the man said, his voice deep and steady, but there was an underlying threat in every word. "The alien you've been harboring, Lyra." Adam's pulse quickened. He had no idea how this man knew about Lyra, but the last few hours had shown him that the universe was full of secrets, and many of them were darker than he could have imagined. "I don't know what you're talking about," Adam said, trying to keep his voice steady, though his hands were shaking. He glanced over his shoulder toward the living room. Lyra was nowhere to be seen. Had she somehow known this was coming? The man's expression didn't change. "Don't play games. We know you're in contact with her, and we know exactly what she's after. You're in over your head, Adam. This isn't just some lonely alien trying to survive. She's part of something far bigger and far more dangerous." Adam's mind reeled. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. Lyra, this strange, fragile alien who had seemed so desperate for help, was part of something dangerous. Was she lying to him, or was she simply running from something much worse? "You've made a choice," the man continued, his voice cold. "Now it's time to face the consequences." Before Adam could respond, the man stepped forward, his hand moving toward the doorframe. For a moment, it looked like he was about to push past Adam into the apartment, but just as quickly, a sound filled the room. A soft, musical hum, almost like a distant song. The man's face twisted in frustration, and his eyes darted to the corners of the room, searching for something. "What's happening?" he demanded, but Adam barely registered the question as the humming grew louder, more intense. It wasn't just coming from the apartment anymore. It was coming from the air itself. And then, without warning, the room shifted. The walls of Adam's apartment seemed to ripple like water disturbed by a stone. The floor beneath his feet vibrated, and the entire space seemed to stretch and warp. Adam stumbled back, his breath coming in short, panicked gasps. "Get out of the way," the man shouted, his voice rising in panic. But Adam couldn't move. His body was frozen in place, watching in awe as the strange phenomenon unfolded. Through the shimmer in the air, Adam saw her, Lyra. She stood in the middle of the room, her arms raised, glowing brighter than before, her entire being humming with an otherworldly energy. Her eyes locked onto Adam's, and for the first time, she looked, not desperate, but resolute. "You don't have to be afraid," she said, her voice now carrying a power Adam had never heard before. It was no longer soft and hesitant, but commanding, filled with the weight of knowledge that Adam couldn't begin to understand. The man in the suit took a step back, his eyes wide with fear. "You? How? What have you done?" he stammered, his previous authority crumbling. Lyra didn't answer. Instead, the space around them shimmered once more, and the man froze in place, his body suddenly encased in a transparent bubble of energy. He struggled, but the force around him held firm, and no matter how hard he fought, he couldn't move. Adam watched, wide-eyed, as Lyra's gaze softened, now turning to him. "It's time to choose, Adam," she said gently. "The knowledge I offer, the power to change everything, is yours. But it comes at a price." "What price?" Adam asked, his voice trembling. "What do you want from me?" "I need you to make a choice," Lyra said. "Stay here, live your life as you have, never knowing the truth, never reaching for something greater, or come with me, join me, and learn the secrets of the universe. But understand this, there will be no turning back. Once you step into the unknown, you cannot return to your old life." The man in the bubble shouted again, but Adam ignored him, staring at Lyra. His mind raced, the weight of her words heavy on his heart. What was more important? Safety, comfort, or the chance to become something greater, something beyond the limits of Earth? Adam's eyes flickered to the man in the bubble once more. He wasn't just a threat. He was part of the larger world that Lyra had warned him about, one full of hidden dangers, secrets, and untold consequences. Adam realized that his choice wasn't just about the universe. It was about who he wanted to become. Without another word, Adam took a deep breath, stepped forward, and made his decision. "I'm with you," he said, his voice steady now. "Take me with you." A smile spread across Lyra's face, brighter than anything Adam had ever seen. She reached out her hand, and as he grasped it, the entire room dissolved into light. And just like that, Adam stepped into the stars.